The National Map is a collection of mapping products and services produced by the USGS National Geospatial Program. The products and services are accessed via the Internet through service calls and graphical user interfaces. The National Geospatial Program has released a series of how-to videos for people who are working with the National Map data and services. The videos show how to use the services and interfaces to access data and tools for viewing, analyzing, and printing geospatial data. Lessons 1 and 2 serve as an introduction to the training materials, and the remaining how-to videos may be viewed as needed in any order, depending on the user. Lesson 5B, Using the National Map Web Services in ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS Online, often referred to as AGOL. In this lesson, we will provide an overview and demonstrate how to use the National Map's web services in a mapping application. Although downloading data from the National Map is a popular option for many users, there are numerous situations where it may be preferable to simply call TNM Web Services into your mapping application. By using the National Map services, you can minimize data storage issues and eliminate the need to download data on a regular basis to maintain currentness. Any use of trade, product, or firm names is for descriptive purposes only and does not imply endorsement by the U.S. government. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to use the National Map web services in a mapping application by adding them as ArcGIS Server REST services. You will also be able to access the National Map web services in an online mapping application. For this lesson, we will use Esri's ArcGIS software. USGS has an enterprise license agreement with Esri, and any USGS staff can request a software license from the Enterprise GIS team within the Office of Enterprise Information. The National Map publishes over 49 services containing a variety of base maps and specialized GIS data. Service URLs are case-sensitive, and all are available through SSL connections by using the HTTPS protocol. This abbreviated list of services shows the service URLs we will add to ArcGIS Pro in order to access the base map services, Carto overlay services, elevation overlay services, and hydrography overlay services. Please note that USGS service URLs are subject to change. Therefore, please refer to this link to gather the most up-to-date service URLs. https://apps.nationalmap.gov/services. To retrieve the map service URL, open TNM Service Endpoints in a web browser. Chrome is recommended. Navigate to the desired service URL and right-click on the REST text. Select Copy Link Address to copy the URL. For demo purposes, I'm going to open a Notepad doc and show you the URL link that was copied. Please note, this URL is longer than the URLs shown previously. Either URL will work within ArcGIS Pro, and as mentioned before, these are subject to change. This will be the link pasted within ArcGIS Pro. Let's get started. There are several ways to call TNM's services into ArcGIS. We will demonstrate a quick way to set up the usage of TNM services in ArcGIS Pro, so the services are easily accessible for repeated use. First, locate the ArcGIS Pro program on your computer. Open the application, logging in if necessary. Begin with a new blank map. We will update the project name. If desired, change the location of the saved map by selecting the Browse option and update the folder as desired. For this example, we will leave the save location the same. Once complete, select OK. The newly created ArcGIS project will open. To decrease load time within the Contents pane, turn off the World Topographic Map and World Hillshade layers. Next, from the View ribbon, select the Catalog Pane icon. Then, click the Push Pin icon to pin the Catalog pane open. In the Catalog pane, which has now appeared, right-click within the blank area. Select New ArcGIS Server Connection. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the server URL for TNM Base Map Services, which we referenced earlier. Then click OK. You can see a new entry has been added in the catalog for servers as well as the base map services. Click on the arrow to expand and view the list of available layers. These tile-cached base maps offer excellent performance across all scales, from world to 1 to 9,000, in a simple-to-use single-layer map service. To add one of these layers to your map, drag and drop one of them from the Catalog pane into the Map pane. Here, we will add the USGS Topo service to the map. The layers in the National Map Services are scale dependent, so the resolution will increase as you zoom in. Return to the Catalog pane. Add the Elevation Overlay Services URL and expand the layer. Select the 3-dep elevation service layer, then drag and drop it into the map pane. Here, the elevation service is displayed as a digital elevation model using the best available 3D elevation program data. Again, remember this service is scale dependent. Next, let's turn off the 3-dep elevation layer so we can see the next layer better. Next, add the Carto overlay services by following the same procedure. Expand the layer to see the available services within the Carto overlay services. Select a layer, then drag and drop it into the map pane. Here, we are adding the map _ indices layer. Before we add the hydrography layer, let's turn off the map _ indices layer. Since this layer's display is scale dependent and its features are not shown at the national level, we are going to zoom to an area of interest. Add the Hydrography Overlay Services URL and expand the layer. Expand the NHD service layer to see all the map layers within this service. This service contains the National Hydrography Dataset known as the NHD. Within the NHD service, any of these layers can be added individually by clicking and dragging into Map, or the entire NHD service can be added. We will be viewing all layers within the NHD service. Now, select the NHD service layer and drag and drop it into the map pane. Expand the NHD layer in the Table of Contents pane. You can see that the NHD features that are visible at the current scale have check marks in black, while features not visible at this scale have gray check marks. Looking in the catalog pane at the list of services available at each URL, you may notice what seems like duplicative layers among them and wonder which is preferable for your use. For example, you can see several different layers for NHD and hydrography. In general, the cached tile base map services provided at the base map URL work well at scales from world to 1 to 9,000. If you are mapping at larger scales, such as those below 1 to 9,000, the hydro overlay services are likely preferable to use. Now you have seen how these services can be accessed within a local mapping application. Another option to access these services is using Esri's ArcGIS Online application. One option is to open the services from the National Maps Service Endpoints website. From here, the user should navigate to the desired layers. Any services with the ArcGIS.com option can be accessed within ArcGIS Online. For this example, we will be using the hydrography tile cache. By selecting the ArcGIS.com link, a new ArcGIS Online map will open and include the selected layer. Remember, the National Map services are scale dependent, so the resolution will increase as you zoom in. The user may choose to save the map and/or the service layer. To save either, the user will need to sign in. In the upper right corner, select Sign In. Within the pop-up window, enter the username and password and select the Sign In button. From here, ArcGIS Online will automatically ask if the user wants to save the map. If desired, select Yes, Save Map. Within the Save Map pop-up window, enter desired title along with any tags or summary and select the Save Map button. If desired, the service layer may also be saved. To accomplish this, back within the Contents pane, select the three dots next to the layer. Then, select the Save Layer option. Within the Create Item pop-up window, the user can modify the title, tags, summary, or even the layer location. Once finished, select the Create Item button. To access any saved layers or maps, the user should select Home in the upper left sidebar, then Content. Here, the user can see their saved layers or web maps. These files can easily be accessed in the future by selecting the three dots near the modified date on the right. Again, a complete list of the National Map Service endpoints is available at https://apps.nationalmap.gov/services. If you have a particular interest in elevation data services, you can learn more about the Dynamic Elevation Web Service in Lesson 10F2. The Elevation Map Service creates multi-resolution visualizations on the fly and allows access to the underlying data for analysis and visualization in GIS software. In this lesson, we discussed how to use the National Maps web services in ArcGIS Pro and AGOL. We added 4 service URLs to ArcGIS Pro using the Add GIS Services function in Catalog. We expanded the services in Catalog to see what layers are available, and we demonstrated how to drag and drop layers from Catalog into the map pane. We also accessed services in ArcGIS Online. The National Map web services provide a quick and useful way to access the most current national map data for use in mapping applications, without the inherent limitations of downloaded data. This concludes Lesson 5B, using the National Map services in ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS Online. To continue to the next lesson, please return to the course homepage, https://www.usgs.gov/ngp videos.